Okay, welcome everyone to today's College Football Playoff Media Day. This morning from 9 to 10, we'll be joined by Georgia football players in this order. Offensive lineman Jamaree Salyer, linebacker Nakobe Dean, quarterback Stetson Bennett, and defensive lineman Jordan Davis. As always, those of us who are accustomed to using this, please make sure you raise your hand, and then we will call on you. And then at that point, we will unmute your line and then let you ask your question. At this time, the first question is from Anthony Dasher. Anthony, go ahead with your question.
I just saw the unmute pop up there. Jamaree, good to see you today, man.
How you doing?
Just from the offensive line's perspective, what's the biggest carryover that you want to see from the Orange Bowl to Monday night?
Just the physicality, just, playing with that same intensity that we played with in that game. I think we kind of knew we had our backs up against the wall. It's kind of like, it's pretty much that's the name of the game. Both teams got their backs up against the wall this time. So, we kind of just playing for glory at this point and want to see that same intensity carry over, that same execution, just being on the same page. I think if we're on the same page, we're a very dominant offensive line and not too many teams can mess with us. So, just kind of being on the same page, understanding the game plan and executing it at a high clip. Just playing with that same intensity. Honestly, that's what it comes down to. Just being able to impose our will and take over the game.
Thank you. And our next question comes from Chip Towers. Chip, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, Jamaree, obviously fantastic game against Michigan. What would you say, the biggest thing that changed between the SEC championship game and the Michigan game for you? Was that about getting more healthy as much as anything else?
Are you talking about for me personally or for the team?
Yeah, for you personally. Talking about Jamaree at left tackle.
I think for me, obviously just wanted to get more healthier for that game, just hitting the rehab hard. I think just coming out with the right mindset, understanding that, a great challenge and a big part of our game plan was me doing my job, was McClendon doing his job. So I think we kind of took that personally and just try to, make it our best game so that the team had a chance to be able to do something special. I think we understood that going into it, and that's what we wanted to do.
Thank you. Our next question is from Jed May. Jed, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Jamaree, I want to ask you about James Cook. Just what is different about him maybe this year than in years past? It seems like this year he's finally having the season that, a lot of people thought he could have in his first couple of years in Athens.
I think he's just more understanding his leadership role. Honestly, he's kind of helped his performance on the field, understanding that his leadership off the field can kind of honestly make him a more impactful player on the field. I know a lot of guys look up to him. A lot of guys, take great respect in everything that he says. And he's become more of a vocal leader this year than in years past. As far as on the field, Cook's gonna be Cook. He's a Florida kid. They love football down there. They play football a different type of way. Not many things affect them, the weather or anything else. He just loves the game of football. He goes out and plays it hard every single day in practice. And the things that y'all see on Saturdays are the things that we see in practice every single day. Guys not being able to cover him when he's flexed out, him running really hard. So yeah, that's just Cook. There's not really anything special to him. He just is who he is and he plays the game, the right way. So yeah, he's a special player.
And our next question is from Andrea Adelson. Go ahead, Andrea.
Good morning. Thank you for doing this. I had a follow-up question to what you said just about bringing the same intensity, because it felt like it looked a little bit different, at least from where we were sitting. Can you just describe the difference in the intensity level you felt you guys had against Michigan compared to maybe the last game that you had played?
I think we just came out hot, against Michigan in the Orange Bowl. We came out hot. First drive, we got the ball first, and things just kind of started rolling. The balls kind of started rolling down the hill, and we were executing really at a really high level. All the plays that were called, we were just kind of all on the same page, understanding not necessarily what we were doing, but why we were doing it at the same time. I think that's even more important, especially when you're talking about a game like football where there has to be cohesiveness. So, that just kind of felt different. We all kind of felt like we were pushing in the same direction. And I think that worked out really well for us. Obviously, in the first half, we played really well. Got some things we got to clean up in the second half, but we played a really great game. I'm proud of the way that we played up front and on offense, because it seems like we were really into our game plan and all pushing in the same direction.
And our next question is from Dan Tortora. Go ahead, Dan.
Jamaree, just what you could say about, the offensive line in general. You guys don't typically get the spotlight, but championships are won in the trenches. So just what you can say about this year's line at Georgia and some of the guys that are there with you to guide them to the national championship game.
It's honestly has been a special group. Throughout the years, you've always kind of had a special group, but this group is definitely special to me. It's kind of my group now, being a senior. So, but it's a special group of guys. Honestly, I tell them all the time. I've definitely been telling them as of recently that, it's been fun to be you guys' senior, to be the captain up front for you guys, because, they make it easy for me. It's not hard to get them to do the right things. It's not hard to get them to show up to things on time, do things the right way, practice hard. Those guys just kind of just do it, They understand the goal. They understand what practice means. They understand what showing up on time and doing things the right way means. So it makes it easy to be there, to be the old guy in the room. It's not like, chasing around a bunch of kids. It's like, it's kind of like just telling guys, hey, this is what we need to do. And it just kind of gets done. And they're really great at accepting challenges. And that's kind of been the theme of our team this year, is just accepting the challenges that, either the coaches may present or the leaders may present, and we just kind of rise to the occasion. So, I'm definitely lucky and blessed to be able to have had this group to be the captain of this offensive line group, because it's a special group. I'm not sure there would be one like it again to me, but very special group of guys from young to old. So.
And our next question is from Dan Matthews. Go ahead, Dan.
Hey, Jamaree, how tired are you guys of hearing about your record against Alabama?
It's definitely motivation. I wouldn't say, tired of it. It is what it is. It's the truth. You can't really run away from the truth. That's what it is. That's our record. But, we trying to make it an emotional thing where it's just like, we're going to go out and play with emotions. We want to be calm, collected, and have a composed attack, be able to play our game, not necessarily play their game, and just be who we are. We are good enough at what we do. We have great coaches, great players, and a great game plan. So, we're good enough at what we do. And the record has been the record, but, we're trying to play it different. This is a new game coming up. It's a different game. It's a different environment. It's one definitely different than I've ever played them in. So, the stakes are different. We want to play this game. I'm not really worried about the last few.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Ivan Mazel. Go ahead, Ivan.
Hi, Jamaree. What makes Will Anderson Jr. different from other guys you have had to block in your career?
He's a very high motor guy, very athletic, freak athlete, very high motor guy. He can run. He plays to the whistle. He plays to the whistle. He obviously very explosive player. He understands what he's trying to do and what he's trying to accomplish with every snap. And he just plays hard. He plays the game the right way. He's a very talented player. You can kind of see that from him coming out of high school, that he was going to be a talented player, because he was just playing at a different speed than everybody else at that level. So, and he still is now. So it's definitely a great matchup. I'm very excited for it again, and it'll be a good game. He's a great player, excellent player, and I'm excited to play against him.
Next question will be from Seth Emerson. Go ahead, Seth.
Hey, Jamaree. Beyond with Stetson, what he's had to do to get to this point, is part of the reason that you all as teammates are kind of drawn to him, the way he carries himself? And how would you describe the way that he carries himself as a person, not just a player?
As a person, I think Stetson's just gonna be Stetson. He's like kind of quiet, but he can be loud when he wants to be. He's a jokester. He's calm and collective. He's confident in who he is. That's just Stetson Bennett, country kid, down South Georgia kid. He'd be that one kid that walked into the locker room, blasting country music. That's just Stetson. He doesn't want to be a person that he's not, and he's never going to be. And I think that's just the genuineness in who he is and what he represents kind of draws people to him, because he's going to be Stetson at all times. There's nothing anybody can do about that, can say to change him. He's going to be Stetson. And I think that everybody kind of draws to that, just because we know, like, at all times we're going to get Stetson, not somebody else. So, yeah.
And our next question is from Mike Griffith.
Hey, Jamaree. Just looking at the schedule, looking at, I guess, the psyche of this and seeing what Alabama did, is it fair to say that Georgia hadn't really been punched in the mouth in a while? It'd been a while since you guys lost. Is there a psychology to coming off a game like that? You mentioned coming out with that fire against Michigan. I just wonder if that's just the response of elite athletes when they have a failure like that at that level.
I think it's interesting. I mean, everybody says that we haven't been, quote unquote, punched in the mouth. I think, every Saturday you line up in the SEC, is kind of everybody's throwing punches. You line up in those mid fronts and you just turn around and hand the ball off. It's a bloodbath out there pretty much every Saturday, just like it is on their side. So, I mean, I think it's interesting. Everybody makes that narrative. But, they played a better game than us. They out-executed us on that given Saturday, and they had a better game plan. So, I mean, I think that's what it came down to. I think we understood that coming out of that game, and we wanted to make the adjustments that we needed to make from an offensive standpoint. I know the defense has too. So, I just think that's what it comes down to, is just making the adjustments, understanding that these are different stakes. Like I said, it's just different. And, we understand that it's something that we really want, and understanding that, things can be different this time. It doesn't have to be the same narrative over and over again. We control our destiny. Not anybody else, not the media, not Alabama. We control our destiny, and that's how we want.
And we've got time for one more question for Jamaree, and that will go to Zach Klein. Go ahead, Zach.
Hey, Jamaree, you mentioned the bond the seniors have. What would it mean to you to not only walk away, obviously, with this national championship with a win, but to become the most decorated senior class in the history of this program in terms of total victories?
It's definitely special. Honestly, I hadn't even thought about that since before the SEC championship last time we talked about it as a team. But it's definitely something special to us. It's crazy, like, as they would say, you have one foot out the door, you kind of think back to, like, all the different memories you have. Your first time meeting certain guys, first time being on campus, first time getting recruited, and showing up here. It's just kind of crazy as you walk down memory lane. But it's definitely something special that we built here. You remember the good days, you remember the dog days in Sanford Stadium scrimmaging, and you remember all of those, and you just kind of find yourself talking about them with certain guys and reminiscing. And it's been a fun ride, but the ride ain't over yet. We still got one big mission left, and we're all excited to be here. And I think it's just the craziest part about it to me is that we're here. For this senior class's first time being here, and so we're excited for the opportunity. Can't wait to go out and play in a great environment, a great stadium, and it's gonna be a fun time.
Okay, Jamaree, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And good luck this weekend.
Thank you.